And now, the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
In Chesterfield, Virginia, a family is seeking justice after they say their son was a victim of a hate crime that happened at a party 2 years ago.
Oh, come on, man. Walk it off.
He was 16 at the time. He drank too much, he passed out, and other partygoers apparently wrote racist things on his face with a Sharpie or another marker. They put a sex toy on him, and they also draped a Confederate flag over him.
This happened nearly 2 years ago, but these photos right here show what happened to the then 16-year-old. Unconscious with racial slurs and images drawn all over his face.
The Chambers family says it happened at a party after the boy drank too much and then fell asleep.
He has suffered at the hands of hate and bullying. We demand justice.
Crystal Chambers tells us the day after the party, her son found photos of himself on social media. Hate symbols drawn on his face, and a sex toy placed on his back. In another image, a Confederate flag is draped over Jerry while he was in the bathroom.
The trauma related to this hate crime has just been devastating to our entire family. We've been literally fighting to save our son's life from September of 2020 to the present.
His parents say on September 14th of 2020, they notified the Powhatan Sheriff's Office about what had happened. But they say they didn't receive any support until the end of last year. We reached out to the Powhatan Sheriff's Office about the incident. They released a statement saying in September of 2020, the family was unsure if they wanted to file a police report due to concerns they had with the legal process. The Sheriff's Office says the family came back in December of 2021, saying they now wanted to proceed with an investigation. However, when deputies identified all involved, they couldn't charge anyone because state law requires charges of assault and battery be placed within 1 year of the offense. To this day, Crystal says she doesn't know who did this to her son.
And he would present these in person on September 14th of 2020. And we're waiting for law enforcement to identify these individuals.
Dude, walk it off. Come on. It's like, this is some drunken thing that happened. It's fine. At least your son's hanging out with white kids. Just fine. Just shut up, Mom. Shut up.
It's okay.
The dildo is white, and the parents were not acting black or talking black at all. That kid was hanging out with white kids.
We don't know. That's not publicly disclosed.
Black kids not do that. The handwriting was also very good.
There was
I will say,
there was a
fact check true.
properly oriented swastika. It's censored in this image.
And did you see how all the N-word, all the letters, they just aligned perfectly? It was just
it's part
excellent
of the uncensored image that I can't show you. But
yeah.
But okay, regardless of the demographics of whoever may or may not have been involved in this, does your son go to parties with Klansmen and Hitler Youth? They have to be his friends, or at least acquaintances.
Of course they would be. Otherwise, I mean, he would be so lucky to be friends with people like that.
With the Klansmen and the Hitler Youth. Yeah. I doubt that's the situation. There are probably people who are friendly with this particular kid. But second, and this is the more important question, why would you wait a full year and 3 months after the fact to file a police report and seek investigation? Unless you know that you're beyond the statute of limitations, and you can make a big deal about this publicly now.
Oh, are they?
Without having to deal with the embarrassment of the investigation finding that it was just your son's dumbass friends making some dumbass jokes. In the sheriff's department's full statement in the story, some details. In September 2020, this is when the incident happened, the family asked about filing a police report but was unsure because of concerns about the process. So the sheriff offered an appointment to discuss concerns. The family did not attend the appointment. So the sheriff contacted them twice more, and the family said, "We don't want to file a police report or conduct a criminal investigation." Then the family came forward.
Why are you talking about this now? Then?
A year and 3 months later, December 2021, and said, "Okay, we do want an investigation." And so the sheriff's department did the investigation. They found out who was involved. They're not disclosing who it is, I believe, because they were minors at the time. And generally, you don't get names of minors in most cases. But they found out who was involved. And they didn't file any charges because those charges would have had to they had to come within a year. And they did not. They were outside of that year window. The sheriff and the prosecutors in the county can't bring charges. So the appropriate question is not for the sheriff's department. The appropriate question is for the family. Why did you wait for over a year to say you want an investigation? And
Dude,
then
I bet this kid is so pissed off at his mom.
And then you want legally impossible charges. And the answer, of course, is personal enrichment with no accountability. There is a fresh GoFundMe set up for it.
There it is.
Already over $4,000 raised. Again, ask the family. And I make a plea to the journalists covering this story. Ask the family, if this was so damaging as you described, you've been just trying to help your son survive for the last year and a half. Why did you wait for that full year and a half to start raising money off of it? Why didn't you start raising money immediately after he was so damaged? And if you're curious, yes, GoFundMe does have an uncensored photo. You can see all the details of the veiny dildo. You can see the sharp, crisp corners of that swastika. There's also a penis drawn on his face. You can see all of that.
It's a funny penis. It's a funny looking
provided by the family. I will link the GoFundMe.
Before we move on, I know that we are short on time, but this mom has just fucked up this kid's life terribly. So he's hanging out with some nice white kids that are, up to some drunken
We don't
antics.
know that. We don't know that.
I am so sure that they're white.
All right.
I'm so sure that they're white. And then she makes it so that he never gets invited to any parties ever again. And then everybody knows that his mom is like this overbearing hag and this money grubber.
Well, I think a lot of people buy the premise. I mean, $4,000, including some of them that are just coming in like as we stream. A lot of people apparently are buying this as a legitimate thing.
Like
So
nothing like this has ever happened to you in your life. I've woken up with cracker written on my face dozens of times.
I've never had exactly this happen to me, but it's happened to friends. And I've never done it to someone either, but I've seen things like this happen. Yeah.
Yeah. As, it's just the stuff that was written was different. Yeah.
The other thing about this story is it was reported that the son, talk about the son being embarrassed. Jerry Chambers is the name of the son. I guess he's 18 now or very close to that. He was scheduled to have a press conference today. He was going to speak publicly about this today. So he's I assume, on board with his mom, but I could not find coverage or a stream of that earlier today. Maybe that information is out now or coming soon.
I hope he dipped out because he knew this was social suicide.
Well, he appears to be on board with his mom, and I will have to have a listen to his public commentary.
Pussy.